What's up, Tarot fam? Please check the timestamps below so you can hop directly to the readings for Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and do remember to like the video. What's up, Aries gang? Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to your tarot reading. Please come into the reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, please push them aside. Assume they're going out to someone else who needs them. You may want to revisit them at a later time and date. Sometimes tarot makes more sense in the future. And do remember, you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is an energy check-in, optional advice, guidance, etc. Setting the intention to get Aries some clear, helpful, insightful messages from the tarot. All right, Aries, we're going to do a spread this time. So what's going on in your past events? Ooh, money, family stuff. Let's see. Something to do with the long-term goals, importance of legacy and leaving your mark. And then what is impacting your past? All right, so being at a bit of a crossroads, not knowing necessarily how to move forward. Possibly confrontation with a family member, possibly something to do with family finances, inheritance maybe. Maybe you're working to settle an estate or working with siblings on something for your parents' financial health, something to do with that. So what's coming up in Aries emotions? Let's see. The Six of Swords. All right, so the feeling that it's time to move on, the feeling that we need to make some strides, the feeling like we need to make plans and decisions. It's like feelings being filtered through logic, but yeah, I'm sort of getting that you might not have clarity on how to move forward yet. This may also have to do with feeling like you're with your person that you want to build a life with, build a family with, build a future with, but being at that crossroads of, is it time to propose or are they in it with me? Like, you could be at a crossroads in a relationship where you are not questioning in a bad way, but asking the bigger questions of like, is this my person for life? And not everybody's looking for that, right? But for some of you, that might kind of be like, it kind of feels like, are they going to put a ring on it or what? Like, it's time to move forward so that we can start making long-term plans. All right, and then what are your ambitions? What are your actual plans, Aries? Big decisions, big plans, executive plans, thinking through things with intelligence, making a final decision and sticking to it. King of Swords energy. I love that because the King of Swords doesn't make plans haphazardly. He doesn't go on impulse, which, that fire energy can do. It doesn't go off on emotions, which the water energy can do. The sword energy is like really filtering things through the mind and using reason and logic. And I always say with the King of Swords, it's kind of a badass energy. But again, this is just like maybe my bias of what I find interesting, right? But, take it if it resonates. The King of Swords says things even if they're going to make people a little bit uncomfortable. It's like, this is the person who calls out the elephant in the room. It's so funny. I have a little elephant totem on my thing right here. As I said that, I just looked at it. That was meant to be. I'm going to leave that there for you, Aries. The King of Swords will call out the elephant in the room when everybody else wants to ignore it and pretend it's not there. And that can feel very Aries to me, right? In a lovely way. There can be a very bluntness to Aries, not just Aries, a lot of the fire signs. So even if it makes him unpopular, he'll say the thing because he knows it's the right thing to do. And there may be some sort of communication among the family where people are coddling a certain family member, or what is that word? It's like when you're feeding the supply, but you shouldn't be because you don't want to deal with the actual situation. You guys know what it's like, your brother who's always, screwing up and out of money, and you're letting him crash on your couch time and time again because he can't pay his rent. It's like you are essentially participating in that situation, even though it's sort of unwillingly. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you're constantly the safety net for people. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but there is some kind of like, we need to call a spade and make a plan, because something here is not to say something isn't working, but we're getting lost in like indecision land, and like eventually we have to move forward with something. All I can think of is coddling, but I think you guys know what I mean. All I can think of is like the reference of when you have someone who's struggling with like drugs or addiction, and maybe that's going on for some of you. It doesn't have to be, especially in a family dynamic, like a complicated family dynamic. I just keep getting that metaphor of like, we're not really doing anything to make them kind of like show up for themselves, because we're always their backfall or their fallback. We're always there to catch them if they fall, when sometimes it's like with the King of Swords, sometimes what's very, very necessary is tough love and doing things that it creates a bit of an uncomfortable environment. But we have to remember that Aquarian energy to the King of Swords, it's for revolution, it's for change, it's to awaken people. That's the ultimate goal here. It is a good card of friendship. It is a good card of working among groups and communities. So you may have plans to, I don't know, expand out into a community, find groups, find networks, find people who can be of assistance to you. Put the word out there, communicate, be a good self-advocate, network, market, whatever you're looking to do here, especially in terms of house and financial stuff. So what's holding you back? You have the Tower, not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to embrace the absolute necessity of change and that everything is constantly in flux and changing anyway. It's like we're trying to put, I don't know why I'm seeing this. It's kind of like volcanic activity, but I'm seeing like shaking like a carbonated soda, right? And then trying to put the cap back on, and it's like it's fizzling out the sides. It's like you can't contain it, but that's what's holding you back is like, I think really, again, what I was saying, truly embracing what the situation is and calling a spade a spade. There's this, I think it's fear. I think it's fear to look at what is versus what could be, appreciating people because of their potential, but maybe glossing over who they really are at the current moment. I don't know what this is, Aries. It could be a lot of things. What's going to help? Let me move my cute little elephant. I love my elephant. Such a nerd. What will help Aries move forward? Action to take? How do they find their willpower? What's some good advice for Aries in this situation? Because your emotions say it's time to move forward. Your plans say we need to make a decision, but what's holding you or people around you back? I get the idea that there's a lot of people involved here. It's like that fear of change and the fear of the unknown. What will be? What will help them move forward? What do they need to embrace? Actions to take? Cutting your losses and understanding that something is salvageable from the situation. Not all is lost, but we can't keep trying to reinvent what has already transpired or taken place. What's going to help you move forward? So for some of you may have to if this is a family decision, and I'm not saying that's for everybody, but especially again, siblings, parents, grandparents, cousins. I don't know, something to do with land, property, investment. That's one storyline going on here. It could be that you need to step up and take the lead, take the reins, because no one's making executive decisions and we're just getting lost in our feelings. We're getting lost in our fears. We're not wanting to accept what has actually gone on. And I mean to be delicate and sensitive, because for some of you, there could have been a passing, right? That, maybe you lost someone tremendously important to you. And just to be very clear, I don't predict that stuff. I don't predict death on my channel. That's not what I'm here to do. I don't find that helpful in any reason. But I am saying there clearly has been some sort of loss that has occurred. And that's where this, okay, now what do we do now? Like we have to make some sort of action plan on what to do with the estate or what to do with whatever. What's going to help you move forward is your true Aries energy. I'm hearing the word control, but it's not in the negative of trying to micromanage and control everything. It's not that type of control. I almost think it's like damage control. I think you are kind of going to be the truth sayer of what's really going on. And again, calling a spade, and maybe you need to do it in a way that it shakes up the energy and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's very necessary in order to blaze forward, to move forward, because ultimately, you are the emperor. That is Aries energy. But it's someone who has very strong leadership skills and someone who isn't afraid of a good challenge, someone who is able to easily, muster up some courage and say, all right, we're about to embark on a new adventure. And yeah, maybe it's uncharted territory. Maybe we're not really emotionally at our best, but small steps and progress add up over time. So, that emotional feeling of like, yeah, like we got to get some clarity on this. We need to seek the answers. Like this to me says someone who's seeking answers and somebody who has them. So finding a guidance person, a person for guidance, a mentor, finding someone who is an expert or can give you advice on this situation. For some of you, if this does have to do with marriage, maybe it's a marriage counselor. Is this being on the brink of divorce? Like, I don't know. If that's the case, then, again, I'm wanting to say cut your losses, which sounds kind of, it sounds like a lot. But with this, though, it's also, can something be salvaged from this? If we put the effort in, if we establish some sort of structure and system to work under, if we have new rules and a new game plan for how we're going to address each other or build this relationship, maybe it is addressing the elephant in the room and it's not avoiding, the uncomfortable energy, because ultimately the Tower brings liberation. The Tower is very, very necessary, but if it's coming up in what is holding you back, what you're not releasing, then you're holding on to something that isn't good for you. It's like you're just trying to grin and bear it a little longer, when maybe what is needed is truth and communication and authentic self-expression. And for you, Aries, maybe that does involve being a little bit vulnerable. And maybe that, with both of these cards, getting out of your comfort zone and sort of embracing the unsettled, quote unquote, what you may be viewing as unattractive emotions, but it's raw and it's real, and that is King of Swords energy, right? So it's both. And then at the end of the day, the fire energy in you, it's going to rise, right? It's going to make it better. It's going to go positive at the end, but maybe it's like this lack of acknowledgement of the emotions. Maybe that's what's suffocated as well, too. So what are your hopes and dreams? Hopes and dreams. What would you desire out of this outcome in the future for my Aries? Their hopes and dreams, what are they envisioning? Okay, so going back to something of the past and addressing it head on. Again, not trying to put a Band-Aid on something. It's like we need to go back and mend it and fix it for the long term. Otherwise, it's metaphorically, it's like we're just going to be limping around again. An awakening, a final judgment call on something so that we can move on fully and wholly. It's for some of you, it's like the nostalgia of wanting to go back to the way things were when this person embraced you with open arms, when things were less complicated, when things were easy. It's funny, when I said that, I heard some of you say it's never been easy. It's never not been complicated. But some of you wish to get back to a place where it's untainted, it's unbroken, it's more pure, it's more innocent. And so I don't mean for this to be a bummer of a message. Hear me out. I don't think you're ever going to get to a place where there isn't a little bit of baggage. However, it's choosing to acknowledge that something did happen, or that many things have happened, and it's made you all who you are today, warts and all, as they say, for better or worse. But it's also shown you your inner strength. It's shown you tenacity. It's shown you courage. It's shown you persistence. It's shown you your fighting spirit, your ability to get through anything like a trooper. And I'm not saying that was something you necessarily wanted, right? Because some of you, it feels like you've been put through the ringer a little bit. But ultimately, it's tapping into something that you needed to see about yourself, that without all this complication, crazy energy, family drama, whatever it is, you may have never been awakened to that side of you. And so this was very necessary. This was like I don't know if it's a harsh life lesson, but it's complicated. I think you have complicated feelings surrounding this because, if this person or these people are showing up in your spread, at one point in time you had love for them, because the loss is very disappointing to think about or even contemplate or consider. It felt like something was going really well, and then maybe it crumbled a little bit. And the thing is, that was, for some of you, it's like that was an ongoing, I feel it intuitively, but I'm not wanting to look at it and embrace it. Maybe it's sort of like if I don't look at it, maybe it won't manifest or it won't come true. But it's like the emotions were kind of telling you, we got to distance ourselves from this. We got to move on. It's like we're starting to hit rocky waters. We're starting to hit rocky waves. So, we can pretend a storm isn't coming and just be like, oh, we're fine. It's good. And sometimes that's a strategy to take, but in this spread, the King of Swords, it says, no, the storm is coming. We got to hunker down, or, we got to abandon ship, or we have to make some sort of executive decision, because again, not addressing what's actually going on, it's making it harder in the long run. I think this is getting your groove back too. Remembering your self-worth, pardon me, but I'm wanting to remembering who the F you are, I got this sort of way, Aries energy. And I get not all of you are there right now, but leaning into your strength and your power. And honestly, look at your track record. Look how far you've come. Your track record says you're going to get through this. But yeah, your hopes and dreams are possibly to revisit something from the past, make an offer, make make amends, build a bridge, reach out with some sort of tangible idea or tangible, I'm wanting to say game plan, how to approach this and make it better and rebuild. A peace offering. So I'm not sure if you're hoping to receive it or give it, but maybe it's both. I mean, there's clearly at least two people involved here. There may even be another Aries involved here, maybe there's a tete-a-tete, right? I always love using that word. It just feels so good for Aries because you guys rule the head, but maybe there's a conflict. Maybe there's people butting heads, quite literally, right? Like the ram. And then what is the outcome? What is the outcome here for Aries? Imaginative thinking, creative solutions. I'm getting holding on to the child. Does that make sense for anyone? Maybe some of you are doing some inner child work. This feels very family related. Like if you are the child, it's very likely that, maybe you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, but you're still dealing with like the family. I think this is about letting go. I do. I think with the Four of Pentacles, it's like we're holding on to things out of desperation. Sometimes, right? Holding on to things out of desperation and uncertainty that if we lose it, all is lost. And the Five of Cups says that's not true. Not all is lost. Something has been lost here. Something has been grieved or mourned or needed to be let go of, right? But not all is lost. The Two of Cups still remain. There's an opportunity that comes out of this, but I think all you're seeing right now is that like laser focus of what's been lost or spilled, And again, like sometimes we call this card the crying over spilled milk, which sounds so harsh when you're going through it because this card comes up when people are in their emotions heavily. We're talking like darkness, depression, like it's a heavy card. But again, we don't see the forest from the trees when we're in the Five of Cups because our emotions are telling us, the false narrative that things will never be the same and life is over and how could this have happened? But crying over spilt milk, fast forward 6 months, you're going to be like, oh shit, okay, I'm starting to see this more clear. And again, I'm not saying you deserve this or needed it or wanted it. It's like life circumstances happen, but something good comes out of this. So have faith. That's a very important word with the Five of Cups. I think it's Scorpio energy. So things from this are going to transform in ways where you might not even realize. It's an energy that potentially has like a phoenix from the ashes, like completely transforms, completely reverts. Is that the right word? I don't know. Converts into something else. I think this is letting go and releasing and sort of embracing the unknown, maybe making strides forward, even if you don't necessarily have clarity on what's to come, but something's got to change. And by holding on to this, it's like we're doing more damage than if we were to actually release it. And again, look at this as a bit of an adventure into uncharted territory. Like, yeah, we're about to learn some shit, with the Page of Wands, it's like, there's a very innocent, naive energy here that I don't know everything. I'm very much a child here. I'm very much a student. I'm very much, wet behind the ears or out of my wheelhouse, so to say, out of my comfort zone, my territory. But the Page of Wands, again, it's that fire energy of like, I'm going to let things guide me. I'm going to let things inspire me. With fire energy, it's like, I'm going to go where the wind takes me because essentially I need that wind. I need that oxygen to keep my, the flames stoked, so to say. Some of you, there may be a major move coming in your future. Again, real estate, house stuff. I think some of you are in the process of this. If this resonates for you, you're going to establish a much closer relationship with your children. And I use that term very, very loosely. What are your children? Your pets are your children, right? I think the people that you're, and for some of you, maybe children isn't the right word, but I'm wanting to say the people who look up to you, whether that's your coworkers, your teammates, your pets, your kids, your whoever, your friends, there's going to be an embracing of those who have always believed in you. And I think you're starting to clearly see maybe people that weren't always on your team or were going against you. Yeah, there's an embracing of lighthearted energy in your life, and people do show up to support you, but it's not necessarily people who can, I don't know, take you under their wing. It's like there's a playful energy with the Page of Wands. There's I want to hang out with you and be with you because I like you so much, but I can't pay your bills. It's that type of like, I'm here for you, but I can't foster this relationship where I somehow become the adult because I'm not. Like, it's almost like this person is below you in some capacity. I don't mean that in a condescending way, but it's like you hold more power to like expand and ultimately like, you take the reins of your life. You're taking the control of your life. I hope that's making sense. I feel like that message was a little bit clouded and cluttered. Yeah, there's definitely an apology. There's a reaching out. There's a bearing of someone's feelings. Someone here is doing the best they can, but it might not quite meet the expectations of what you feel you deserve from this. There could be an offer of a small amount of money. Someone may try to pay you back a little bit. Someone is showing up and pulling out the stops in terms of what they have the capacity to do. But I'm just getting this, again, it's like a page. It's a little bit naive. It's a little bit immature. It's a little bit, they're trying to cheer you up. Some of you, your kids are trying to cheer you up. They know that you're in a rough spot right now. But again, you know, is it delicious? Is it satisfying? There's a fish in the cup. So it's like, you know, they tried, but it doesn't necessarily quite meet the mark. For some of you, this, again, I don't know why I'm getting conflict with siblings for some of you. Does that make sense? Let's see. Aries rising. What's going on with Aries? Gemini stuff, Sagittarius stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I know a little bit of astrology. That off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure what that would be. But, you know, if it's your story, it's your story. If you're this far in and you're confused, I can tell you it's not your story. And it won't be every time, you know, unfortunately. That's why you should book a personal reading, right? You can cater it to your energy, to your questions. But hopefully somebody needed to hear this. And maybe this is resonating for you in a way where I didn't totally see it, but you heard what you needed to hear. That's always my hope, right? All right, let's get an oracle for Aries. Spirit animal oracle card. Just one, please. Just one. The shark. I did see the unicorn. It didn't come out, but let's see. Oh, I always forget how these are alphabetized. Let's see if I can find it. The shark. There it is. Okay. Woohoo. Thank you, Spirit. Directness, exposure, revealing the true nature and desire. The shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we are hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. It may be tempting to continue to pretend that nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. Love that. Again, like, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. Let's start trying to bury the tower, right? Like, let the volcano explode. We'll deal with the remnants and residue. But we have to see it. We have to acknowledge it. So when in balance, this card means something is intriguing, captivating, or mysterious. When out of balance, it is sneaky and destructive. To bring it into balance, you must use honesty. Love it. All right. Angel number for Aries. A number they should look out for on receipts, clocks, I don't know, license plates, mailboxes, anything that Aries needs to see. Phone numbers, that's a good one. 30. You are an original, innovative thinker and an excellent communicator. You have great talent for using creativity to convey your ideas, and your optimistic attitude has an uplifting effect on others. It does, absolutely. Oop, that came right out. Thank you. Persevere. Leave no stone unturned. I love this. For you, Aries. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. What's up, Cancer babes? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading. Welcome to my tarot channel. Remember to subscribe, please. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. We're going to do a spread for you this time. Please come into the reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, drop it like it's hot. Assume it's going out to someone else who needs to hear it. You may want to revisit the message at a later date in the future. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is energy and advice for Cancer. Let's get them some messages with clarity. What's coming up in Cancer's past, recent past? Some confusion and not knowing what to do next. You maybe made some plans and they didn't really translate or materialize, and now you're like, well, shit. Well, shit. What do I do now? The impact of them. Anxiety. It's like you desperately want to communicate something or say something or fix the situation, and yet I have a feeling you're holding back, right? I don't know. Let's find out. It's almost like you're in a panic mode of like damage control, like something, and I'm not saying you were at fault per se. I don't know. You may have done something or said something that you came to regret, and now you're like, I gotta fix it. But for some reason you feel like you can't. I'm almost wondering if you feel like the message won't be received, or if the person you need to address or confront, maybe they're going through their own stuff and you're like, oh, it's not a good time, but like, I really need to tell them this thing. I just get the idea that like you really want to reach out to someone, but you feel like you can't. So what's going on in Cancer's emotions? Just watch your anxiety, watch the narratives playing through your head, like the feedback loop. Is that what they call it in psychology? I don't know. I might be making that up, but that sounds right to me. But I say that because the Knight of Swords can be very like impulsive and jumping to conclusions that aren't necessarily true. And then not only that, taking action on things that aren't necessarily true, right? Because Knights always bring change and movement. He's clearly flying. So just make sure that what you're taking action on, it's true in your heart. It's, it intuitively feels like the right move, and like slow down a little bit. Slow down. I think you just, I want to say you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself, Cancer. I say that jokingly, please don't take offense to that. But like there might be a need to like really maybe take a little bit more time to process what's going on before we speak up or take action or make some sort of drastic, rash decision. What's going on in the emotions? Yeah, you want to communicate about your emotions. Here, I don't know why this Page of Swords looks angry to me. It's like something went down in it. I don't know if it's like you want to, I don't know. It's like tear somebody a new one. I'm not sure. The Page of Swords, though, again, it's not a bad communication card. It's a little message. It's a little thought. But it possibly means that something hasn't been fully fleshed out yet internally. And so we're wanting to jump and say something, but maybe out of turn. Yeah, that's important. For some reason, when I said out of turn, it might be that this person needs to come forward first. Or this person maybe need to reach out to give you the indication like, hey, it's safe to communicate. Like I'm at a better spot. Like I'm ready to address this now. Like you may have had an argument with friends or family or your, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. So what is Cancer's ambitions, their plans? What are they wanting to do? What are they sort of hatching a plan to do? On a more like mental level, where are we at there? You're wanting to heal this situation. Okay, I do love that. Like you're coming at it from a good spot, but not in the present energy. Like the overall, if we can see the forest from the trees, and I think you do at sometimes you're wanting to like ease back into this. You're wanting to reestablish balance. You're wanting to make sure that you're heard and that you feel in some ways validated so that you don't become a doormat. I think that's important, especially if someone said something that provoked you. But at the same time, in true Cancerian nature, like you just want to care about people. You just want to love people. You want to make sure everyone feels included and heard and taken care of. And so it's both. Like she's watering the land and she's adding water to like, the channels, the pool, the lake, right? The channels, that's important. I feel like you're channeling messages from the universe, Cancer. So it's like your intuition or something is telling you to hold off on this, even though like you really desire moving forward and like shooting off that text or that email or, walking up to your boss at work and being like, you know what, we have to talk. Like, but I think like, you need to ease into this. So your ambitions and plans, I think, are to get your body, your headspace, yourself at in a better place so that you can see this with more clarity. And I think that's really your divine guidance. Ultimately, the star, it's a card of hopes and dreams and wishes. Again, the long term, the bigger picture. This is not like they said something to you once and now, you disown them for life. This is not that. I'm not saying what you're going through isn't valid and affecting you, because it absolutely is. But this is like, give it time, because like the initial trigger seems very intense for you. That is going to subside. I'm not saying it's going to go away entirely, but that's going to subside, and you're going to look at it more from a healing perspective of, honestly, like self-reflection too. Like, ooh, when they said that, why did it trigger me so much? What kind of shadow stuff is it pointing out in me, where it's maybe some unaddressed issues that I need to focus on my own healing. So the next time somebody says that, whatever, I just let it right go, because it doesn't affect me. Like their opinion of me doesn't matter. What they say to me, I'm good. I'm confident with who I am. And I know I move through the world with love and kindness. So, if somebody comes at me with this like negativity, I'm just like, ugh, deflect. Not my problem. Like, you know what I mean? I think you're working on your own strength to maybe not be so susceptible to criticism. That feels very important. There may be an Aquarius involved here. There certainly doesn't have to be. But ultimately, Aquarian energy, it is a card of wanting to establish friendship and networks and communities. So that, whether this has to do with a group of people or just one random person, I think there's a desire to reconnect and establish harmony. Whether, I'm gonna leave it at that. So what is holding Cancer back? What do they need to release? What is holding them back? I bet it's your ego, to be honest. And everybody has an ego. I don't mean that as just like you're so dramatic. I don't mean that. Like our ego, our need to be right, which everybody has. That's a sun element. Everybody has a sun sign. Let's see, what's holding you back? The Knight of Pentacles. The speed of things. Very different nights. Do you see the depictions here? The Knight of Swords is like Mercury, Gemini energy. Like, let's go off the facts and let's run and let's chase them and let's tell everybody everything we know right now really quickly. The Knight of Pentacles is like, I'm just doing my thing, one step at a time. A drop in the bucket a day adds up. Like, this is more responsible, reliable energy. The Knight of Pentacles will always get the job done, but his timelines don't matter because he wants to do it right. You know, he's the person who's going to come to you and be like, yeah, I'm working on that project, but it's not done yet. You're like, yeah, but it was supposed to be done by Friday. Well, it's not going to be done by Friday, but when it's done, it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to make you a lot of money because of it, but it's not going to be done by Friday. It's very matter of fact. I mean, to be fair, it is both Mercury energy, right? This is the Virgo energy, the earthy energy, right? And then this is the Gemini energy. Again, this is great for shooting off fun texts and like communicating with people and being a social butterfly and, you know, posting things on social media. Like, it's very different approaches to the Mercury energy. What's holding you back, though, interestingly enough, is maybe it is a little bit of stubbornness. I don't know, of wanting to do things your way only. That's not typically how I interpret the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, thank you. I was going to say, I'm going to pull one more on that. What's holding you back is feeling like an outsider or feeling outed, feeling like you're not part of the team. Again, being kind of self-conscious of your own. I'm hearing like misgivings. I don't really know what to do with that word. I don't think that's the right word, but that came out for a reason. What misgivings? I'm not even sure I understand what that means. That's not my word. That just kind of was channeled. Anyway, your own insecurities, maybe. It's funny. I could see this in two different ways. This is someone who wants to approach someone they view as a soulmate, someone they want to build a very steady, solid future with. But it's almost like we have to go back and fix the foundation that we started to build because something happened where it was like there was butting heads or again, tempers or attitudes or fears, insecurities got in the way and people said things that they shouldn't have said. Yeah, okay, all right, Cancer. I see what this is a little bit. Yeah, for some of you, this is romantic. Oh, Cancer. Oh, Cancer. My Cancer babes. Okay, others of you, this could have been something that transpired at work, in which case your deepest fears are that because you maybe said something in haste, now it's like you're going to be excommunicated. The more I read about Cancerian energy, that's such a thing because, you know, Cancers are so associated with the home and the family unit. It's like not being part of the established group, like the fear of being the outsider is so real in Cancerian energy. It's like you go to the end of the earth to make sure everyone feels included and tended to, but frequently Cancers find themselves in situations where they're the new one, or they're the stranger, or there's no one like them. And it is that, can I work my way into the family, you know? Am I going to be appreciated, and am I going to be acknowledged? I think that's a better word for it, because it's scary when you don't have those established connections, and that is a very good, very healthy social experiment to get comfortable doing, immersing yourself in crowds of people that you don't necessarily know. And again, you know, whether you're able to kind of branch out and make those connections or whatever, I think it's important to recognize that, you know, you might not be everyone's cup of tea, but that isn't a reflection on you or how you need to behave in those social circles and social environments. I'm going to be honest, Cancer, for some of you, it kind of feels like you stood up for yourself, and now you're like, oh shit, why did I do that? Because, you know, now they think I don't like them, and now they're going to be passive aggressive with me. It's like, that's your Knight of Swords, like starting to write this narrative for doing something that maybe was outside of your comfort zone. And again, I'm getting the fear of being outed. It's like you want so badly to be welcomed back to this house, to this person, to this situation, to this work group. And like you're coming at like, I just want to heal things. Like and this is such a card of uniqueness and individuality and being kind of different, feeling kind of different. And with that, some insecurities that probably arise because of it. Ooh, I like this reading, Cancer. It feels deep. It feels very deep. Some of you may have been dating someone, and again, there was like a weird miscommunication, and you're instantly jumping to, oh shit, like I just ruined it. Like I thought this was, yeah, okay. Like I thought we were attracted to each other. I thought there was love. I thought there was chemistry. I thought there was a connection, and now it's like they're leaving me on red, or I feel like I can't approach them, or they said something that completely diminished me or brought me down, and now I'm questioning my own self-worth. And you know, I think that's a good thing for a common trait for Virgo energy too, is the self-worth. You know, Virgo lives to serve, but at what point are they not serving themselves by constantly putting that attention and appreciation on other people and not themselves? You may be looking at someone with soulmate energy, but it's complicated, isn't it? It's complicated. So yeah, there's clearly a couple storylines going on here, but so what's going to help Cancer move forward? If we could get something kind of general that would help and serve both parties, universe, whatever the Cancer is going through this week. How do we help them find their willpower? How do they move forward? Any actions they need to take? What do they need to embrace in order to help heal a situation? No, I'm second guessing it. Six of Cups. All right, so probably going back to the past, going back to a situation. Sometimes the Six of Cups is offering an apology. So, I mean, if that's warranted, yeah, maybe. Though, to be honest, I feel like it's both ways. I think both people owe each other an apology. Is that accurate? Or maybe not an apology, but here's the thing. I think things were said in honesty, but neither person liked how it felt when those words were being digested. Does that make any sense? Like, I think people reached a breaking point where honest expression just kind of like fizzled out like a volcano, right? It came out and there wasn't a lot of editing. Here's the thing. I think that was very necessary. I think both or whoever did that needed to express themselves, and maybe it wasn't done in the highest vibration, but the Five of Swords says we're still in the thick of this. This isn't over. Like, we can't just up and leave this situation. Like, there's conflict that needs to be addressed here. But ultimately, especially with the Star card, that's what's saving the spread for me, is like, we want to fix it, we want to mend it, we want to heal it, we want to make sure people are okay and can move on from this. Or possibly break bread again, right? I mean, what's going to help you move forward? I mean, your heart. What's true in your emotions and true in your heart? I'm hearing in my head, like, you want this person to like you and know that it is safe to approach you. And so that's a complicated message, a little bit. Because I think you have to ask yourself the greater reason why. Like, why do you want them to like you? Why is that so important? And I mean, obviously, yeah, we want people to like us. That's a human trait. But like the psychological stuff behind that, I'm really asking you to like dig deep. Why is this person's approval important to you? What are you trying to prove to yourself by knowing, well, that person likes me? So like, what is that validating for you? And again, there's no judgment there at all. I think that's really an important question to ask. And I think, again, a lot of it may have to do with, well, I don't want them to think I'm a mean person. I don't want them to think I'm a rude person. You're not. You know you're not, Cancer. You're a human being. You acted out, in a way that people do. We don't always have our shit together. Especially my Cancer risings. You were probably raised in an environment, Libra in the fourth, right? Where you were taught that you need to be very polite, you need to be very diplomatic, you need to show up perfect for people, right? That's frequently a Cancer rising trait. Only it's not true. There is no such thing as showing up perfect. We're all human. We all have, opposed by Aries, right? It's like your role in the world, again, specifically to Cancer rising, but just go with me here. Libra in the fourth is like perfectionism, right? Everything has to be just so and balanced, and I have to look beautiful and act beautiful and always have my shit together and, controlled temper. That's opposed by Aries, which is like the middle finger to society, right? It's like, I'm going to do me. I'm super independent. I have my own voice. I'm unique. I get angry, I get loud, I get mad. And so I'm not saying either is right or wrong. I'm saying there needs to be a balance there. But I think just make sure you know who you are, because that's going to help you out in the world in relationships, knowing that I'm confident that I am a good person. And yes, I screw up. Yes, I do things, that are out of sorts and out of character for me. But I'm not going to pigeonhole myself to that one thing I said that I shouldn't have that one time. And you know what? Neither will these people. Because your true light shows. People see you for who you are, Cancer. And especially if this is a person you may never see again. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but why? You're beating yourself up. Don't put too much stock in what other people think. Own who you are in all your flaws, your unique being, because that's what makes you who you are. That's your inner beauty. Your uniqueness makes you beautiful, Cancer. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise or make you think otherwise. This feels like you're beating yourself up big time about something and you're in panic mode. Like, how do I repair this? How do I fix it? And ironically, I'm getting it's a joint decision. It's a mutual decision to fix this. It might not be up to you. But I'm getting sort of this longing of like, I miss this person, or I want to be with this person, or I want a chance to explain myself. Let's see, what is Cancer's hopes and dreams? I always go long on the Cancer readings. I can't help it. Have I lost you all? You want to sleep peacefully at night. Yeah, it's like, again, Libra energy. It's like we want to reestablish order and equality and balance. We want harmony in this, whatever it is, romantic, platonic, whatever. We want harmony so that we can sleep peacefully at night. I'm going to give you a hint, Cancer. You can achieve this on your own. You don't need to have a conversation with this person to establish that, okay, I'm good. I think you need to work through it energetically and offer yourself compassion. In addition to this person, I feel like you're like, oh, they didn't deserve it and I acted too harshly. What if they're thinking the exact same thing about you? You can find the inner peace on your own. Sometimes, it's great when we get clarity from people, but we don't always have that gift. And so that's a skill in itself, is being able to look at something from a new perspective and be like, okay, like I see what happened there. Here's what I'm going to do differently next time. Or here's why it's okay that I did that, and being like, you know what, I'm a human being. I forgive myself. I'm going to be compassionate to myself. It's okay. Everybody slips up. And that's what happened. I was triggered. Look at you, 10 of Cups. I think you're going to be fine. I do. I think whatever this is, it's going to work itself out the way it's supposed to. What is the outcome, please, Spirit? You need to take good care of your body right now. Put good fuel in your tank, right? Make sure you're drinking your water. It's going to help reset your body a little bit, because, it feels like there's a lot of like anxieties going on. So we got to exhale, do some yoga, do some meditation, go to the gym, and like, that's good use of the Aries energy of like, instead of, it manifesting as anger, go and like sweat it out, jog on the treadmill or whatever it is that you do. I just heard I don't do treadmills. Cancer. I don't do treadmills. Okay. Dance. I feel like a lot of Cancers like to dance. Is that true? Anyway, all right, outcome. What is that outcome for this, please, Spirit? What does Cancer need to hear about this? Leadership. What about leadership? You may have to take the reins of this. Oh, I think I saw the Two of Swords, but it didn't flip over. Again, establishing inner peace, that's your first step. You absolutely need to do that. Yeah, there's an apology, there's an offer. You guys are going to communicate again and make this right. I just said this to Aries as well. This person is trying, but they're not necessarily meeting all your expectations. So go into this with a very open mind, that even if you get a little back, an apology, an acknowledgement, whatever, that shows tremendous growth for this person, because they're not someone who typically does that. And the reason I say that is the Page of Cups is a little bit naive, it's a little bit immature, but they're trying. Like, they're pulling out all the stops in terms of what they think the stops are. Like, they're showing up, right? They're dressing up. Look at this ridiculous costume they've put on to try and like win you back or impress you or whatever. But ultimately, it's like, what are they offering? They're offering a cup, a Page of Cups, but there's a fish in it. Like, it's kind of like, this isn't exactly satisfying. This isn't exactly quenching my thirst, but you know what? Like, I acknowledge that you're trying. And maybe that's, I don't know why I'm getting, that's almost advice to you, is like, if you approach this person or they approach you, pretend you're talking to the 5-year-old version of them. Like, what does their inner child need from this that's going to soothe them? And that feels very Cancerian too, of like taking the role of mother. I don't mean that you need to, again, cater to them and to their selfish, childish behavior, if that's the case. But it's bringing it down to a level of like, you fight on the playground with someone when you're 5 or 6 years old, and then you're friends again, like, by the time recess rolls around, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, kids just let things go easily. There isn't that ego attached to it, because they're going off of, they're living in the moment, they're living in the present, they're happy because it's snack time, they're happy because it's recess, someone pushed them on the playground, they're crying, but you know what, then they want to go play tag and jump rope, and they're fine. Like, we allow things to go and move through us, and we're not holding on to them. Cancer, with your crabby crab hands or whatever, your pincers. You guys are like, what the hell is she talking about? Yeah, bottom of the deck is strength. This is probably coming back together. You might be dealing with a Leo, an Aquarius. And I mean, no shade to any of the signs, but yeah, there can be an element of Leo that is a little bit proud. That, again, that word ego, right? It can be a little bit proud. It needs its ego stroked. It doesn't like to dumb itself down or come down to a level where they're super vulnerable. Not all Leos, I'm just saying. Sometimes that's the case, right? It's like you got to stroke their ego a little bit. I think you have to approach them very gingerly and delicately, because they're wounded. They got some wounds that you probably don't even know about, right? We're all wounded. We're all just trying to undo years of damage, Cancer. At the end of the day, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all F up here and there and say things we shouldn't have. And you know what? People forgive us. We need more compassion. We need more understanding. We need more patience with everybody in the world. Typically, that's something you offer. So you need to offer that back to yourself. For Cancer. The Sea Serpent. Let's see. My only regret with this book is that like I can never find them because they're organized by like, can I look it up in the index? Let's see. See, I can't. That's the thing. They're organized by elements. Anyway, it's fine. We're going to find it. We're going to set the intention. We're going to find it. It's definitely not those. Oh, it's got to be in the back, right? It's got to be in the back because it's one of the spirit cards. All right. We are going to find sea serpents easily. Phoenix from the ashes. There's a rebirth. There's a reincarnation. There's something else going on here. Anyway, I just saw that. All right, healing emotional wounds, expressing desires. Oh, Cancer, this is so great already. I love it. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression. Whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire, the sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy in a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most, our hearts are at ease, and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment, and we let the cool waters of forgiveness heal our wounds. That feels like forgiveness to me. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our life, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, Cancer, like a mother, she wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. Stop it. You're going to make me cry. You are lovable, Cancer. You are worthy of happiness. That's your birthright. You don't have to work at it. Taurus, Capricorn again, and Pisces might be signs you're dealing with. And Aquarius. Yeah, there's that Aquarius card. All right, that's what I got for y'all. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this, Cancer. I hope you got something out of it. Leave me a comment if it resonates. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys. Hello, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something to better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's totally fine. Please do push them aside. Assume they're going out to someone else who needs to hear them, and they may resonate for you in the future, so just be open to that. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. That being said, we're going to set the intention to get you some clear, helpful, insightful messages that'll help you on your path moving forward in the coming weeks. All right, so this feels like a separate message. Like I was anticipating the cards kind of coming out one by one once it started with the Tower, but it kind of this feels completely separate. There's unexpected news or a reawakening with a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I'm assuming it's someone you probably have a history with. There could be some sort of breakthrough with a fire sign if you guys have kind of been in the in-between zone. Or I'm going to say this, whether you're married to this person or dating this person or kind of in the friend zone, it's like there's a breakthrough. Something that you are needing clarity on, you start to see it fully. And it does have to do with moving away from a lack mentality or a fear-based mindset, not wanting to move forward because of some sort of fear you may have. And this may have to do with your person as well, too. There could be unexpected news coming from your boss. For some of you, your boss might resign or I don't know, there could be some sort of recognition from a boss or a passing on of a title or an opening of a position. I do think it's good news. Yeah, the ending of a cycle that has been kind of treacherous or heavy, you had to go through the Saturn energy, right? This is Saturn and Sagittarius. So it's like you kind of had to sacrifice the fun, the pleasure, and sort of see some sort of important task through to the end or work through things, emotionally, cathartically, however you want to say it. But now it's like you finally get to put that burden down. You finally get to relax and rest a little bit. Maybe because something has come to an unexpected end and you're relieved of that duty. Others of you're relieved from having to play the guessing game on where this person stands with you because, in a high vibration, the King of Wands advocates for himself. Yeah, it's like there was a period of silence or being in wait and uncertainty, and that changes. So Yeah, there's communication. There's friendly communication that gives you some sort of clarity. Things may transition into something more romantic, more sexual. For someone who, it's like you felt it, but the evidence wasn't there. I think also there's a need to make sure that you stay internally balanced. So the universe is sort of saying, I don't know why I'm phrasing it like this. I don't usually do this, but it's like, I'm going to give you what you want, but like this is also a test to make sure that you're ready for it. Okay, so take that as it resonates. Libra, that was a bonus reading. Here we go. That was not for everybody. You know, if it's your story, take it and run with it. Can we connect with a new group of Libras, or let's connect to the spread that we're going to do? Reshuffle our energy. Let's focus up again. Clear, helpful, insightful messages for Libra. Happy to relay that one, though. that seems like something good coming in. There is going to be I think it's the new moon trines Uranus, which can be kind of that shocking, awakening, unexpected surprises. And with a trine, it's happily unexpected, surprising news, but things you're like, oh, okay, I'm into this. Some of you are going to hear from a fire sign or someone who, for a lot of you, I'm going to say a male romantic suitor who has a lot of passion, a lot of courage, a playful energy, and someone who maybe is finally deciding what they actually want. All right, so what's going on for Libra? In the past, you have the Four of Cups. So again, a little bit of contemplation, some uncertainty. It can be kind of a moody card or just all up in your feels. Sometimes there's confusion about what you're feeling. And what is the impacts of this? The impacts, I'm almost wanting to say, is wanting to step up and realizing that maybe you deserve love or you deserve better love. It's possible that some of you were realizing that you were settling for like low-hanging fruit, right? I use that metaphor a lot. Just because it's there and it's easy and it's within reach doesn't mean it's delicious. It doesn't mean it's satisfying. I think a lot of you may have come off of some sort of hardship or rejection in terms of like your emotions. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic. It probably is for a lot of you, but maybe you've been taking jobs that really diminish or don't value your worth and what you contribute. And so I feel like the long-term effects of this is like, I got to aim higher. I got to recognize how much I give to this, so that ultimately like that's going to be mirrored back, because you essentially tell people how to treat you based on how you treat yourself and your own self-worth. So I actually do like this. I think this is like a tremendous upgrade. It's funny, I keep wanting to adjust this and it keeps spinning on me. That feels symbolic, but I don't know what to do with that. It feels like, what is that, spin the bottle? Look at that thing. What is that about? The hands make me think of Gemini. I don't know. Moving on. Or something with the letter H. I don't know if that's initials or I don't know. Moving on. Okay, so then what's going on with Libra's emotions? Oh, there's your King of Wands. All right. I just heard, I'm feeling it. Do you guys know that Blink-182 song? Where do we go from here? I'm feeling it. It's like laced with sexual energy. Look at these two coming together. That's so funny. All right, your ambitions, your plans. What are you thinking about? What are you trying to be more decisive about? Where's your mental energy? What's the focus there for Libra? Mental energy. There's two things I get from this instantly. It's like holding on to something for dear life because you love it. I don't know if it's out of a sense of lack, to be determined. The other thing I get from this is not wanting to reach out, like a holding back, but very actively waiting for something to move or something to budge. It's like, I don't know why I'm getting this. It's like feeling the stirrings, in your belly, or feeling like, metaphorically, like the ground is starting to shake and something's coming, but there's that like anticipation of like, do I react now? Do I reach out or do I wait and see? It's almost like I don't know. I'm sort of getting this idea that you guys are both waiting on each other. I'm trying to see this through a wider lens, because I know not every single person out there is looking for romance, but I just, I can only do what the cards are telling me, and this does feel kind of romantic. So it might not be your story this week. I do have to do spreads about money, career, and finances because I don't do well for that audience, admittedly. Anyway, all right. So let's see. What is holding Libra back here? What is holding Libra back? Queen of Cups. All right. Interesting. So you do have a pairing here. Are there multiple people involved here? Yeah, Three of Cups here, maybe romanticizing the past. Some of you may still be getting over a water sign from the past, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. I I don't think this is true for most of you, but like a lower vibrational Queen of Cups because it's kind of coming up in what's holding you back, what you need to release, essentially like devil energy. Sometimes the Queen of Cups can be like an emotionally manipulative energy, sometimes, or a little bit possessive, a little bit clingy. So let's do some self-assessment. Maybe that's not you, but maybe there's a part of you that when you're in a lower vibe, you can kind of dip into that energy. It's all right, you're human, no biggie. What's going to help Libra move forward? Fire action, to taking some sort of decisive action, or what is their advice? What would help them move forward in this connection? The Eight of Cups. Interesting. So emotional release, moving on, understanding what emotions are blocked, and understanding that there's more out there. It's like trusting your gut and trusting your intuition that sometimes you have to walk away in order to experience more. Yeah, so like that specifically talks to me about accepting less than you deserve. That's a very big message here. I also see the Queen of Cups too as like, it depends on what cards are around it. But the Queen of Cups, her cup is closed off. So there's definitely, I'm wanting to say the word boundaries, but are you not setting boundaries in terms of what you're giving versus what you're receiving? Like, I almost think, Libra, for some of you, you're showing up for your person, like pulling out all the stops. But is that reciprocated? And are you allowing it to be reciprocated? Are you allowing your person to pull out all the stops for you? Or is there kind of like this subconscious self-sabotaging nature where it's like, you only feel valid or important when you're the caretaker, when you're the nurturer, but you're not necessarily comfortable receiving that energy back, maybe because you don't think you deserve it, or maybe because that's just not how your brain processes what a love relationship looks like, when in reality, reciprocity, balance the scales, right? I mean, I know that to be true, but I think you may have trouble putting that into practice and allowing people to take care of you, right? Yeah, some of you may still be holding on to a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. If that's the case, what's the deal? With maybe some trickster energy, or you're trying to manifest a new beginning with a water sign. Yeah, Judgment. Okay, wanting to build, wanting reciprocity, wanting a love offer, but it's complicated because someone's holding back. Someone's not fully invested because they have some deep-rooted fears or insecurities about either letting their guard down or being vulnerable. There's also probably some long-standing wounds, trauma, childhood trauma, whatever it is that prevents them from moving forward, even though this could be like a really bomb connection, even though this could be like, Ten of Pentacles. It could be like a dream come true, and yet there's like the self-sabotaging in, out, or like indecisiveness. Like, I think this person may fear commitment, but they don't really enjoy going at it alone either. So yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. But I mean, in your emotions, you're showing up with, this can be you too, right? It can be other people, but I mean, it's both. It's mirrored back to us. Yeah, okay, thank you. I was gonna say, there's multiple people involved here. I'm not having clarity on the storyline in terms of who's the new one, who's the old one, who do we love, who are we mad at? Like, it's like a clusterfuck, Libra, I gotta be honest with you. And there's no judgment there. Life is messy and life is complicated, but I will say this. The juggling energy, it's going to be very, very hard to manifest with clarity what it is that you want in a partner if you don't truly know. Because I see you holding out or holding space in your heart for someone who's no longer in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, other than I think you need to be really honest and truthful about why that person isn't in your life anymore. Was it unreciprocated feelings? Did they not treat you with respect and you knew you kind of had to draw a line, but you still long for them and miss them? And there is like a longing energy and a hoping. I read something on Instagram the other day, and it was a quote, and it kind of stuck with me. It's like, it's very short, but it's like, it's okay to be sad about making the decision that you know is right, or It's okay to be sad after making the right decision. I think that's essentially what it is. And that's sort of what I get from this. It's not that you wanted to let this person go, but circumstances arose where they just weren't emotionally available, or they didn't know what they want, or they had such severe boundaries, and their guard was so up, right? It was so hard to like kind of penetrate that wall and get to like the core of them. That maybe you felt like you had no choice because it sort of diminished your value to be in a position where this person just didn't know about you, right? If you felt like you were kind of on the fringes, but I am sort of getting like a duality, like a Jekyll and a Hyde, or like a, like there's warmth and there's passion, and then it's completely taken back. It's like this person steps out of their comfort zone and takes an emotional risk, and then they completely reel it back because they're like, oh, I don't know, that felt weird, I don't know. And part of it is self-preservation, but part of it is I think they don't want to lead you on, because in honesty, I don't think they know what they want. It's also possible, but not for everyone, that maybe they were already in a committed partnership. I don't know if that would be a secret, though. So that's the thing. That's not going to be everybody's storyline. I don't need you to jump to scary conclusions that, oh my God, they were cheating on me. But some of you know that this one was already taken. That's sort of what I get from this. It's like they already had, I don't know if they were married or they already had something going on in their life, but there's a lot of people showing up here. And with the juggler energy, it's Jupiter energy. So sometimes it's fun to go out and play the field, but then if you catch feelings for someone who literally is just interested in, casual sex or hooking up or whatever, then that makes it complicated. And that's sort of what I see here is like, I don't love this card coming up in your ambitions and plans, because ultimately your plan is to keep holding on. And is holding on doing more damage to you in the long term? It is a sun card. It's sun in Capricorn, right? And by nature, Capricorn is a sign that squares any placements that you have in Libra, right? So sun, moon, rising, that kind of thing. Or Venus, whatever. I don't think you probably would have Venus, but who knows? You might be watching for your Venus sign. But anyway. So yeah, there's a challenging energy. Are you willing to let go and release and trust your gut, follow your faith and your intuition that there is something more out there? It's hard. It's hard because we don't always see it. The moon card came up earlier in your deck, or in your deck of cards here, where it is like the path isn't necessarily clear. We don't have absolute clarity on this. But is it better to stay stuck in a position where you're not feeling good? It's like lowering your vibe to kind of reflect back on this and be sentimental and, only remember the good times, right? Oh, rose-tinted glasses. But then in reality, it's like, I don't know. This is just, to me, it's like a card of lack mentality. It's like we're holding on to what we got because we're fearful that, the other shoe's going to drop, or that we're going to lose something. But maybe by releasing it, we're actually kind of, this is your advice or guidance. By the emotional release, the Saturn and Pisces, the emotions and feelings and romance we're experiencing, there's a limitation being put on it. There's an obstacle being put on it. So we can stay in that energy and accept the obstacle and be like, well, I guess this is as good as it gets, unrequited love. Or we can be like, no, F that. Like, I'm wearing my red coat of passion. I'm passionate about lots of things and other people and life. I'm passionate about me and my love life, right? So maybe it truly is about going off to find something new that meets you halfway, that matches your energy. I think there was very strong chemistry. The King of Wands can be like a very sexual dynamo card, right? But was it lacking in emotion? I don't know, or authenticity? I'm not sure. Can I get one more card on the Eight of Cups? What is Libra being advised to go after here? Yeah, focus on you, focus on your work, and things that are going to liberate you from this situation. Eights are all about liberation, and then eventually they lead to the nines, right? So the self-made, independent, badass boss card, right? Nine of Pentacles. And then the Nine of Cups is like the wish fulfillment card, right? But it's self-made wish fulfillment. It's not seeking wish fulfillment via another person. It's like, I'm living my best life, and like, I'm loving my life, that kind of thing. And then you attract people who are in that same vibration. I think you caught feelings for someone who, they're not a bad person. They just, the timing isn't right, or I don't know. It's challenging. And it sucks though too, because you have very high court cards, but that's why I'm wondering, is somebody already in a committed partnership here? And not to say that you were like the side piece per se, but maybe it was like timing, like you met someone on a dating app and then the next day they met someone else. And like, it could have been something like that. Fours are about establishing stability. So this says to me, you're still working on recouping your, recouping your emotional stability in terms of like, not feeling like you're triggered every time you see this person on social media, or maybe you see them at the office, or, whatever it is, there's still that like, ugh. I think we have to remember with the Four of Cups, though, too, the Ace of Cups is being presented by the universe, meaning there's an opportunity there for you, but are you ready to take it? Are you ready to see it? Are you ready to take a risk that something new could be more replenishing, that could quench your thirst? Or are you stuck on what was, right? The Three of Cups. Again, you're focused on the three, the 1, 2, 3. Ugh. So what are Libra's hopes and dreams here for this spread? What is Libra's hopes and dreams? Whoa. Okay. So strength, which fell out on your king. I think your goal is maybe to wait it out a little bit longer. It's like you're trying to tame your inner desire and your impulse to like hop on this and text them and call them and be with them because something is delayed or hung up here. But then the world is like the graduation, the conclusion, the reaching some sort of finality in this story. So here, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe for some of you, obviously the desire to be with this person is there. The desire. I don't necessarily see that as the narrative and the storyline. So for some of you, your goals could be just focusing on yourself. Again, there's that 8. 8 is a card of strength, of determination, of courage, of persistence, of pushing through. So maybe you're just kind of stuck in a period of lull or a period of rest, trying to see things okay, I like that. Trying to see things from a new perspective, and kind of get your groove back. Kind of tend to your own wounds, like soothe yourself a little bit with that Leo card. Hanging out with your pets is going to be very helpful if you have a cat or a dog or whatever, something like animal therapy. And also just the idea of, I don't mean this in like a naughty sense, but the idea of like soothing yourself by like touching yourself or stroking or, like remembering that you're a person in a body and like you need to like tend to that body like it is your temple, right? Treating your body right. But something about like I'm always getting like the Libra essence of it and like the Taurian stuff too. It's like the sensuality, like the touch, the taste, the smell, only in a more like personal self-care way. So doing like the aromatherapy or soaking in a bubble bath, like tending to your body as a way to like heal and recuperate from whatever you were going through. Especially like swimming or something in the tub or something. I don't know. I almost see this as like a bathtub, which is really interesting. I don't usually get that from the world. It's like having a little bubble of protection while you heal right now, because it might be feeling like your love life is a little bit hung up or delayed. And again, in Capricorn season, that wouldn't totally surprise me. But then we reach Aquarius season where that's, a fellow air sign. You're going to get some trines, right? So if you have any placements in Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, when the sun, when the moon, etc., starts to move through Aquarius, you're going to start getting that energy from the Aquarium, which is going to help support whatever it is you want to do, relationships, right? So, I mean, if you're a Libra rising, I believe your 5th house of dating, romance, etc., that would be Aquarius. So, again, there's more opportunities, but Capricorn season is like you may have to kind of hunker down and get yourself ready and get yourself prepared. Maybe you're still kind of in the chrysalis or the cocoon, however you want to say it, and like you're not quite ready to come out and meet the world yet. You're focused on yourself. You're focused on your own projects, your healing, your wellness, and also your releasing of like things that, again, it's like they're Saturn on the emotions is like they're constricting the emotions and the ability to let love flow to and from, right? So it's kind of like I have to walk away from things that aren't keeping me in the flow. If it's stuck, if it's that, that like constipated energy, that's not good. We're just holding on to excess stuff that we need to release. Some of you may quite literally be experiencing like stomach issues. So then what's the outcome here? I mean, I don't even know exactly what I'm reading for because it's complicated. It's complicated. Also, I think what's holding you back, again, Cancerian energy, the crab, right? The pincers. It's like when I grab onto something, I don't want to let it go. It's going to be a fight to the death. It's going to be a struggle because once it's mine, I've decided it's going to be mine. But has this person also decided that as well? Or is this, again, one-sided? I'm not saying they didn't have feelings for you or they didn't enjoy being around you, but it just seems more complicated than that. And so it could be like that inability to release and let go, that might be what's holding you back, Again, there is like this, sometimes it's easier just to release. Emotionally, it's harder, But in terms of like your health and wellness in the long term, you're actually making space for what's meant to be yours. So outcome cards for Libra, outcome. Waiting and waiting. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see, 3 of Wands, Sun and Aries. I don't know. I think this is a power player move. I think it's no longer chasing. I think it's no longer holding out for people who don't know what they want. I think there's like a new determination that I know my person is out there and maybe it's going to take a little longer to find them. But in the meantime, I'm not going to lessen myself or diminish my value to try and fit into someone else's puzzle when like, it's like they don't even know what effing puzzle they're building. Like they're going at it blind, right? They don't have the reference of the box of the puzzle to be like, yes, we're going to put that there. And like, they don't have a game plan for their life. And I think you do. I think with Aries energy, it's like, you're going to go for it. I think this was a necessary karmic relationship to sort of reorient you back to yourself and be like, wait a minute, what do I want? And am I happy? And am I being valued and cared for in this relationship? You're going to know you're with the right person because they're going to want to take care of you. There isn't going to be this like struggle and this like tiptoeing around like, do they like me? Like, what did that mean? And why did they say that? It's going to be very blunt, you know? It's going to be very obvious. It's just going to be put out there for you to see. I do think there could be something with a fire sign coming in your future, possibly a Pisces. Yeah, you got some cards of rest. There's like a dawning of a new day. There's something on the horizon. And I think you have to sleep peacefully at night, knowing that you're taking care of yourself and you're putting your best interests first, because that's what you have to do. You know, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if there is a pattern, Libra, of jumping from one relationship to the next because we're not really interested in really looking at the stuff, right, and not taking the proper time to heal, then we're going to keep repeating this cycle. So maybe the universe is saying, do it right this time. You know, if you're in or out of a relationship that it's straining and it doesn't feel good, instead of, you know, immediately hopping on the dating apps and swiping all the swipes, what if you actually did self-care this time instead, and allowed that to take root, right? Have a good solid foundation of self-love. And I'm not saying you don't, but I think it needs a little bit of a zhuzh up. You know what I mean? It needs a little bit of a sprucing up, a reminder to yourself that you're beautiful and you're important. And then you reach a point where you're like, okay, I've established that for myself. It's been a process, you know, Saturn energy, but this is like the success of Saturn. This is like the long-term fulfillment. I'm wanting to mention the fixed signs on here. I don't know why. I think that's important. Libra, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus. Those may be X's, to be honest. It's almost like they're no longer in the inner circle. It's like you're the one in the inner circle, you know? You're the focus. You're the zoom in. You're the superstar. Honestly, I think there's someone coming in from long distance. They may be like new to your town or new to your state or new to, I'm hearing the word university. So I don't know if they've come to teach at a local school or a college. I'm not sure what that is. Or it's someone who just really enjoys travel. It's not here yet, though. It's not here in Capricorn season. Yeah, there you go. There's that communication. Self-love. Yeah. Practice self-love. Wink, wink. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Libra. Okay, cool. Let's get you an oracle card. Actually, let's throw some zodiac signs on this. For the hell of it. Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, and Leo. What am I doing? Who am I? What's my name? Okay, here we go. Angel numbers for Libras to look out for, something that might be significant to them. License plates, receipts, mailboxes, phone numbers, anywhere. Number that Libra should look out for. I'll take this one. 666, I am centered. The wake-up call for you to re-examine your current situation and change the direction of your thoughts so that you can raise your vibration to a more positive frequency. And then 19, I am a pioneer. Yeah, there's that Aries energy, right? I like that. I am a pioneer. Independent and self-sufficient are necessities to you. You are extremely capable in life and in work and aren't afraid to take big risks to achieve the life you desire. There's definitely like a mourning, M-O-U-R-N, a mourning period here. Like, I get it. And so rather than fighting it and trying to rush the process of moving on to the next thing, like, finish the chapter in a thoughtful way. Do you know what I mean? Like, go into the hangman energy. Reflect. Do some journaling, do some yoga, some meditation, do some art, and like express what's going on inside so that you can better understand it. Get a hold of it, get a grip on it, and then decide, do I like what I see? Do I want to change it? What parts do I love? Let's lean into that. And then, what parts do I really want to work on and focus on this year? All right, animal card for Libra. One, please. There we go. That one stuck right up. The zebra. The zebra for Libra. I love that. That's adorable. Black and white. That's significant for some of you. I just heard that Michael Jackson song. The thing about my baby, it don't matter if you're black or white. All right, it'd be helpful if I could find it. There we go, zebra. Eccentric, creative, visionary, Aquarian energy, baby. I think you guys are going to thrive more in Aquarius season. That's going to be like, again, your house of dating and sex and romance, but also your creative talents, like, things you essentially give birth to. You might be hanging out with your kids more if you have kids, but also it's like your creative projects, the things your self-expression. Anyway, moving on. Zebras are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality not only is delightful, but also opens our minds. Be prepared. Their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. This card may be a hint to pack your bags. So maybe that's what this is. If it isn't like someone from a foreign land or someone who from a distant land who travels into your hometown or your network, maybe this is you. Maybe this is you taking like some unexpected strides to discover uncharted land, go on some sort of adventure or, exploration. The 3 plus the 4, it's like maybe that's where your soulmate is. It's outside your normal territory. It's outside your comfort zone. It's like when you expand your horizons, the 11-11, right? It's like maybe that's where the soulmate energy lies. And maybe it's reconnecting to yourself as your soulmate. And then again, it's like that will follow suit in terms of external to you as well. In balance, this card means worldly, enthusiastic, and fashion forward. That's you, Libra. And when out of balance, it means jaded, pouty, or vain. That's pouty to me. To bring it into balance, have an epic adventure and create some art. All right, I'm going to give you one more self-care thing. It just feels warranted. Anything else that we may have missed that Libra needs to hear in terms of self-care? Self-care for Libra. There we go. Ritual. To experience the magic of life, you must first practice it. So maybe you guys are doing some candle magic or working with crystals or doing something to manifest the life of your dreams. All right, Libra, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, guys. Hello, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. Please remember to like the video. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something to better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, feel free to push them aside. Assume they're going out to someone else, though they may resonate for you in the future. You'll always be open to that. Do remember you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. We're going to set the intention to get Capricorn some helpful, insightful messages that can help steer them on their path. I'm being told to stop. I think we got to address this first before I keep going. I just heard anyway, moving on. All right, so we're going to look at the past first. So the Judgment to the Queen of Wands. What's going on in the past? Some sort of decision about a power play or some sort of decision regarding your status at work or some sort of professional standing. It could also be some sort of decision you're making about a fire sign in your life, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It could be romantic, it could be a friend, any kind of major decision about a fire sign where it was kind of in flux and you hadn't necessarily reached a final conclusion on how you wanted to move forward, especially how you wanted to take action on it. And so the impact of this is the Ace of Wands. So the aces are usually blessings. The Ace of Wands, especially with the Queen of Wands, it denotes very passionate energy and possibly very sexual energy. It could also be very creative in some capacity, or the ability to speak and command the room, to hold a lot of power, to hold, almost maybe a little bit of intimidation. Like there's something very phallic about the Ace of Wands, right? Because it is that sexuality card, but with that, it's very, I'm wanting to make all these gestures with my hand, which I'm not going to do, but whether you're male, female, or whatever you identify with, there's something very masculine and assertive about the Ace of Wands, you know? It's very decisive. It knows what it wants. Anyway. So, yeah. I want to keep going a little bit more because, again, there's like a wide variety of what this could be. Coming up in your emotions, though, you have the Hermit. So, to me, that's very closed off emotionally. For some of you, it's feeling outed, feeling like you're left out in the cold, searching for answers, you know, with the Hermit. You know, the Hermit is a card of independence. It's a card of like spiritual awakening, wandering down a path, not necessarily having a firm sense of direction or a compass to guide you. It's sort of following that intuition, you know, following that little light in your lantern, knowing that it is going to bring you, you know, illumination as you start to wander down a new path. Eventually it leads to the Wheel of Fortune. So, I mean, you find your blessings when you show up to your life and show the universe, like, I'm ready for the next thing, even though I don't know what it is. So there may be some sort of necessary risk that you have to take. Some of you may be trying to strike out on your own independently in terms of business, especially if it's something creative. Yeah, for some of you, and again, this won't apply to everyone. For some of you, if you are in a creative job, you're starting to realize that you are the mastermind behind it. Like, you have the creative genius, and yet you're having to split your shares and your wages with, you know, I don't know, the corporation or the company or however you want to phrase it. And you're like, I should be getting this money. Like, you know, they're not promoting, like, or I don't know. It's like, they're not really, I'm almost getting like there's not an equal balance to what I'm giving to them versus what I'm receiving. A lot of you, I think you're having this awakening or this judgment that, like, if I could muster the strength, the confidence, the courage to strike out on my own and maybe take some sort of necessary risk or gamble, you know, I might just find my people, you know, I might just find some traction and able to get myself out there, promote myself better so that people see the light and you know, I attract that business. For some of you, that feels very accurate. Some of you, gosh, like I could see this going in two totally different directions. Others of you, if this is romantic, it's like you're trying to determine if your fire sign or whoever, you're Virgo, it doesn't, the signs are whatever. But someone who's very passionate, right? If they have that same type of electric chemistry for you, if it's reciprocated or if it's unmatched or if it's like maybe unrequited, right? With Virgo energy or the Hermit energy, really, there might be some sort of like knowing the truth and maybe having a hard time accepting it, that it's like the warmth and the passion you felt, it feels a little bit contained, like it's stuck in the lantern. It feels like Saturnian, it feels Saturnized, right? Like it's a little bit, there's obstacles regarding your ability to love freely and embrace and communicate with this person. Can I put one more on this Ace of Wands, please? Because ultimately, what is the impact of the past? It's this Ace of Wands, so it could be starting fresh. It could be starting anew. In making decisions in investments in any sense of the word, emotional investment, you know, commitment in a relationship, also investing in a company and them investing in you. And you know, with the Seven of Cups, it's like, I always think there's a lack of certainty with the lack of cups. It's Venus and Scorpio, and so we want the answer to be very clear. We want to have this, we want to have a very extreme feeling, right? Venus and Scorpio. And yet when the Seven of Cups comes up, it's like all our options right now, we're kind of half in, half out, or kind of meh. It's like they're all kind of lukewarm, and what we really want is feeling this ignite, this passion, this absolute, like, yes, I feel a calling. Like, ultimately, Ace of Wands, too, like, I'm inspired, right? It's like the torch. You know, this is keeping me warm. It's you know, nourishing me. It's fueling me to go forward. And right now, it's like, it's almost like the prospects, you're kind of like, So you're feeling that way either about a job or about a person. If it's about your person, it's not to say that the chemistry isn't there. It's that you're uncertain if it's being mirrored back to you. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, you know, choose which route you want to take if either applies to your life, but the message is the same. It's kind of like not feeling satisfied with some sort of partnership or some sort of collaboration and wondering if you should strike out on your own. Emotionally, I think you are feeling like isolated, but it might be for a greater purpose to get you to go in that other direction. So what is Capricorn's ambitions, their plans, their goals? What's going on in their kind of like mental sector here? You want to have fun. You want it to be creative. You want it to be passionate. You want it to go places. You want something or someone to have more energy and enthusiasm and excitement. The Knight of Wands is very adventurous, right? He's not always committed though, right? He's kind of cool being like the player, right? And I don't mean that in a negative sense. It's just, this is not the type of energy that's like, I'm going to commit myself to a company for 20 years. He's not going to do it. He, she, whoever, right? You know, gender's not a thing here. But like, yeah, I mean, I think your goal is to activate more avenues of fun in your life. And I completely support that for you, Capricorn. I think that's important. For some of you, I don't know, is if this is dating, some of you may want to play the field a little bit more. If this is work related, you may want to go the independent contractor, is that the right word? Subcontractor, like the independent gig at a time thing, or you make your own schedule and you decide when you want to work. It's very sporadic. It's like bursts of energy with the Knight of Wands. If you're out of a long-term commitment because they just couldn't commit to you, you might be going on the dating apps and being like, I'm not setting the intention to meet my person. Like, I'm just going to go out and have fun because I've earned it. Like, that's what this feels like. It's kind of like there's an acceptance here of me trying to force something to work clearly isn't working. So it's kind of like I have to roll the dice and try something completely new and get out of my comfort zone. But that being said, whatever path you're headed down with this hermit energy, instead of looking at it as like a prison sentence of like, oh, solitude and I have to do everything on my own and it's going to be this heavy, father time. It's so heavy and he's masked in his cloak. And it's like, it feels like you're anticipating this being like a depression era. And it's just the opposite. It's like, if you keep your vibe high, this could actually be like a crazy fun adventure for you. I think it could be like really, really good and very, very necessary, very needed, because something has been keeping you back. It's almost like we've been sitting on the throne for too long. We've been thinking about it, like it's stirring within us. The feelings are there, like the engine is revving, but we haven't really like hit the gas yet. And I think that's your plans and ambition. I think you're ready to move forward on something. It's just that, am I ready? Maybe this is the emotional uncertainty of like, I want guarantees that it's going to work, and it's like there is no guarantees. But again, I will say to you, the hermit finds the wheel of fortune. The hermit finds the blessings because he goes out seeking them. He's not sitting there waiting for it to come to him, right? I just heard come hither. That's funny. All right, so what is, oh my goodness, too many cards. We're not going to take those. I will look at these though. That felt important. The Star of the Empress. Yeah, know your value, know your worth. You're a rock star, Capricorn. I don't got to tell you. You just had 3 major arcana come out. Teams of women, divine feminine energy too. There's a lot of support for you. These could be spirit guides. These could be angel guides. These could be saints. This could be some sort of divine, I'm hearing divinity. Some sort of like divine blessing, grandmother spirit, whatever is looking out for you in a more spiritual sense. It could also be like leadership roles, you stepping up to take on some sort of leadership role, maybe in your own life, but I'm also going to say working with women, specifically like, I don't know, I'm wanting to use the word mother because of Empress and High Priestess. Take that with a grain of salt, but like there's mama energy here. It's the idea of, the seeds you plant, if you nurture them, you control their success. And I mean that in a good way. Like if you commit to something and decide, Taurian energy, I'm going to nurture this from a seed to a tree, you will do it, but it's going to take time, but it is alignment with your destiny, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. The Star card is a huge card of working with working with communities, networks, friendships, groups, clubs, community type stuff, and social networking, online communities as well. I almost see these 2 cards as like a stepping into your highest potential. The High Priestess can remain silent, but part of this might be finding your voice and then having sort of that moment of, I got to speak up. I got to be my own, best advocate for myself, and tell people what I want, or else how am I going to manifest it? How is it ever going to materialize? So I almost see this as like the young maiden kind of virginal energy full of potential to like living out that dream and stepping up and like knowing that you belong in the throne, knowing that you can wear the crown, that kind of thing. Some of you may come from a family where there's lots of sisters, lots of aunts, lots of women. Women are surrounding you right now. I don't know what that message has to do with. There's also a message here too of removing yourself from catty energy. This is about people who lift you up and inspire you and see you as their equal. There isn't like this competition of, well, she has it and like, I want it, so she's my enemy. No, there's none of that here. This is very much like women supporting women. Not to isolate the males, but there's something very, very strong about like feminine energy here. So utilize that. Lean into your feminine side. I don't know. Nurture the seeds and they will grow. What is holding Capricorn back, please? Is there something that's holding Capricorn back? Thank you. Oh, so many cards. So many cards. All right. What is holding you back? Yeah, you're waiting for opportunities to come to you when you need to go out and like slay the dragons. You got to get up off your throne, Capricorn. I'm going to say it. No disrespect. I love my Capricorn gang, but for some of you, you may have fallen into the trap of like the Venus laziness, right? Venus is a wonderful planet for romancing and connecting and relating and balance. But there's also like this unspoken expectation with Venus that other people are going to cater to your every need and desire. And I think some of you are learning the harsh realities of that truth, right? And again, I don't mean for that to be dismissive, like you needed to be schooled or educated, but it just, we all do it. Like Venus makes challenging aspects, and sometimes it's like, I just want the world to do me favors. And I think Capricorn, more than any other sign, knows that's not how life works. But I don't know, maybe you got swept away in something. And I don't know. I think this is like finding your center again. It's like coming back to you and realizing your potential. Be careful that you're not welcoming in third-party conversations. That may have been, that very much showed up in the Libra reading. It's like wanting to be in a connection full on well knowing that like this person is feeding other cups or feeding other mouths, that kind of thing. So, you can do that, but like it disrespects your value. It diminishes your value. It shows the universe like, I don't mind being someone else's plan B or side thing. And if that's not romantic, look at that in terms of work. It's like, I don't know. I'm just getting this idea of like you're sharing your paycheck with people who are not deserving of it because you're doing all the work. It's like the blood, sweat, and tears you pour into your projects, people are taxing you for like the 25% that you owe them for that. And you're just like, what is this? Like, what is this tax I owe you? Like, what are you doing for me? You're not giving me a platform. It's like you're taking like it's like you're taking a little part of me. It's like, again, fifth house, like creativity stuff. It's like the things that I'm birthing into the world, my little babies, my art, my projects, my work, my, whatever. You're doing all the work and someone's just like, and I'll take that. It feels very like, what is the word? You're in government, Sam. It feels like you got to pay Uncle Sam or whatever. Like, I get it. I'm not here to make a comment on that. But also like, I think you're fed up. It's like, no, I'm cutting out you taking the tax. Like, I'm earning all the wages here. Some of you too, there may be issues with a house or a property that is draining on your finances. You may have moved into a house, an apartment that you can't afford, or there may be unexpected, again, taxes on land or property that it's like, I don't know, something to do with the house may be straining your financial account. It also could be something in your house that keeps breaking, and instead of paying for like the whole remodel, you're doing like little band-aids to make it better, and the universe is saying just fix it. Like, just fix it so it's not a headache, because it has something to do with like when you come home, you want to relax. You don't want to be in a space where it feels like it's unsupported, it's unnurtured, it's crumbling. It's like everything in your life that you want to succeed and grow, you have to treat it like it's a little baby infant. You have to, there's something to that. It's like you have to show more care to your house or something like that. Some of you are building a house, or there's some sort of construction project and the plans are all messed up. I have no idea what that is, but it's holding you back. I'm just like, good luck with that. I don't know what that is. I honestly don't. That could be like so many different things. I don't know how that relates to this, but someone who needed to hear that did. I'll have faith in that. In the more general sense, I think romantically, for those who resonate, you're waiting for someone to open up the channel of communication and be like, I've decided I want to build with you. You're my soulmate. And you're like, oh my gosh, really? So you're not dating that person anymore? And they're like, no, I am. Like, that's also holding you back. This like 3 of Pentacles, it's like, I'm building with multiple people, but you're my soulmate. It's like, that's not really how that works. So yeah, I'm being a little bit blunt because that energy, it feels very, it feels exhausting, but it feels wasted. It feels like you have tunnel vision a little bit, and you kind of need that slap from the universe to be like, wake up, you're so much better than this. And so that's sort of what I'm leaning into. If you're involved in third party stuff, or you're longing and wishing and hoping for someone who isn't doing the same for you, like, again, this is tough love, but I mean it from the truest, most best place. Like, wake up. Judgment call. You are so much better than that. Do not minimize yourself to fit into that like ridiculous box they're trying to put you in. Absolutely not. With this badass energy, absolutely not. And again, maybe that resonates for you in a career sense. So with Capricorn, it's like end career. It's never just about love. All right, what will help move Capricorn forward? What will help move Capricorn forward? Action they need to take, decisive action advice. What's going to help Capricorn get out of this conundrum? Yeah, be yourself, the devil. Implement structure and limitations in your life, but in the lives of others. You may need to sort of, I think I said this to you in your last reading, you may have to be like, this is my job description, this is that, or this is not, so I'm not doing that. And not feeling guilty or ashamed about it. You guys are a workhorse of a sign. I say that to you every time, but like, Capricorn is a sign of Saturn, and it needs limitation and it needs restriction. So maybe you're counterbalancing, I don't know, excess in your life, whether that comes in the form of people, whether that comes in the form of jobs, project, like the extra shit that you don't need. Like, you got to step into your power as like the leader. Like, you're not the one being shackled to something. You get to decide when you want to liberate yourself from that. And a lot of that has to do with standing your ground and stepping into your power. That's a huge message here in any sense. It's like, who are you giving your power away to? You got to take that back. You're the person writing the narrative of your life. It's no one else. And if you don't feel like you're in control of your life and that you're pulling the strings and you're making those decisive, or you're making the decisions on how you want to move forward, something's not right. Something's not right. If you're under the control or under the power of someone, within reason, right? We all have a job. We all have, typically we all have bosses, but maybe not Capricorn. Maybe you're the exception there. Maybe you're becoming the boss. I like that your card is showing up on like literally like the, what do you want to call it? Like the tiered structure of these cards. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's like, do you see how there's like a pyramid structure and you're quite literally at the top? I love that. That makes so much sense to me. All right, interesting. Hopes and dreams. I didn't even mean to put these cards there, but I was going to pull cards on that, and I think that's what this message is. Quite literally, the star card is like about our hopes, our dreams, our future. Again, Aquarian energy, taking the road less traveled, being unique, embracing what makes you weird, embracing the outside, embracing like being the outsider, knowing that by owning that and stepping into that, you're going to find your tribe and you're going to realize, oh, I'm not the outsider. I'm not that weird. Like, what I want to do, it isn't that different. I've just been with people who didn't have any interest in that, or who didn't value what I valued in life and what I wanted to achieve. I think a lot of this is like finding your people. There could be a desire to have children or step into the role as nurturer, mother, some sort of maternal energy. There could be a desire to connect with a mother, especially one who has passed on, who's no longer here. There could be that felt important. Spirituality may be a key factor in your life in the coming months or years or whatever, or I'm hearing re-embracing spirituality. So if religion or spirituality used to play a key role in your life and you've kind of felt like you lost your way from it, that might be something that you want to explore, because I think it would help ground you. I think it would help like reinvigorate you, but it would bring you a sense of peace and calm and like better, I'm hearing establish, and I'm hearing compass. So, take that as you will. So then what is the outcome here? Yeah, I feel like you have spirit guides that are waiting to communicate with you, but you have to open the channels of communication. Like, you have to show the universe that you're ready to receive that, and maybe you haven't been in a good place to receive. With this, it's like very confusing energy of not knowing and trusting your intuition, not knowing what you're experiencing or feeling. I think you have to get clear on that. I think you have to get clarity. Outcome for Capricorn? The Queen of Cups. Yeah, some of you may be holding back on a contract, or if somebody approaches you at work for something, you may end up resisting or refusing, or I'm going to say renegotiating to better match your value of what you deserve. Because I think you're starting to get a clearer vision of what the happily ever after is going to look like for you, and some very necessary changes are needed. Knight of Wands, it's like, I'm going after it. I have no reason not to. Life is short, There could be some sort of contract with a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. That could be your first client. You may collab and meet with like-minded individuals, especially in some sort of creative field. Also spiritual communities, religious communities, your church group. There's a positive version of that Libra energy. Is like, it's balanced, it's harmonious, it wants to relate, it wants to discuss, it wants to mix and match, it wants to go back and forth. There could be held love with a Libra. I'm not sure what that means, but I did mention the Libra reading to you, so I don't know. There could be a challenging relationship with a Libra that either you get clarity on or you choose to move forward in some sort of contract with them. I'm not sure that's this person, but again, take it if it resonates. Zodiac signs that want to come out in this reading. I think this is about getting very clear about your truth and what's going to make you happy and holding on to that and protecting it like it's your baby. That's really important. So you have Cancer, you have Scorpio, you have Gemini, and you have Virgo. Angel number card for Capricorn. Angel number card for Capricorn. Look for it on license plates, receipts, mailboxes, phone numbers, confirmations that you're on the right path, something that they need to see. For some of you, I heard 3. I don't know why. And then 15, I am wise. That is the card. 15 is you. This is the devil. All right, you little devil. You cute little devils. All right, your love for others is powerful, and you are able to spread your gift of support far and wide. Your curious and social nature brings you in contact with a variety of people who would benefit from your warm, heartfelt words of wisdom. I love that. I love that. Last but not least, animal spirit card. I always start these readings like, all right, Annie, this time around, you're going to do like 12, 15-minute readings at most. They're going to be short and sweet. And guess what? They never are. They never are. But I can't, I do it with integrity. I mean well. I know these readings are long, but I hope you guys are here for it. Am I talking to myself? All right, Capricorn, animal spirit card. Let's do it. The raccoon. Again, another black and white card. I did Libras before. I thought this was adorable. Libra got the zebra. I just like saying that. I was like, ooh, black and white. That might be important. And then you got one too. Just saying, there might be something to that. And you did have the Libra card in your outcome. But contracts, who knows? We'll see. All right. It would be so helpful if these were just alphabetized. Anyway, here we go. All right, Annie, raise your vibe. I get annoyed when I use this book, and then I get sassy. My Knight of Wands comes out. Raccoon means talented, shadowy, and in hiding. Raccoon energy is at play within all artists to greater or lesser degrees. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadow side points to unresolved issues around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times, it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When in balance, this card means generous, friend, and exceptional artist. When out of balance, it means competitive, starving artist. To bring it into balance, make new work. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Let's just slide this 10 of Cups on over so that you can really see it and embrace it. Please remember to like the video, guys. Leave a comment, leave an emoji. Help me gain some traction on YouTube. Thank you for showing up to this reading. I appreciate you. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, Capricorn. Oh, and happy birthday. Happy birthday, Capricorns. Bye.